It's almost, I just got it in my mouth. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tonka. Lately, this is Perfume Vegas, and I am doing a video about my my 5 favorite picks of fragrances from my collection for spring for 2020. I feel like the fragrances I chose kind of are a pretty good representation of my fragrance collection and the type of fragrances that I not that I like, because I like a lot, but that I choose for seasonal scents. Some of these are, you know, easily worn year round. Some of them I feel are definitely a little bit more seasonal. Regardless of that, for me personally, there are scents I would be most likely to take out in the spring and maybe summertime. I hope you enjoyed my previous video telling you a little bit about myself. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it up here in a card for you. And if you're interested, you can go watch that. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe before you go. Thumbs up if you like the video, and let's just get into it. I want to apologize. I'm not enthusiastic. I'm not as enthusiastic as I could be because I'm in quite a bit of pain. I'm having a lot of sinus issues right now, but I'm trying to push through it. Just trying to push through it. So my first pick is the newest fragrance to my collection. It is Chanel Paris Venise, and all the notes for everything will be listed down below because I don't want to have the time to pull them up. It'll make it a really long video. This is so beautiful. I picked this up and just a couple months ago, and I have been wearing it since then. It does have that signature Chanel feel, slightly aldehydic on top. It's quite bright, it's quite citrusy. There's a little bit of like a woody, powdery dry down. But overall, it feels very uplifting. It feels very youthful. It feels very fresh. Yeah, it has a really lovely feeling of joie de vivre. I mean, just energy, beauty, and all around excitement. And I feel like that is really apropos for spring. That was Chanel Paris Venise. The next one, I'm trying to decide like how I want to order them. I'll just go like with what I have in front of me. The next one that I have is Fury Ruby from Van Cleef and Arpels. It is a really beautiful, slightly not powdery. It is a really beautiful, slightly peppery berry fragrance. There's some woody notes on the base. There's a little bit of powdery feeling in the heart. At the top, it's quite peppery. It is quite red. It's called Ruby for a reason. It feels a lot to me like I have Kat Von D Adora. This is like that's the toned down, massively toned down baby sister to Adora, with that little bit of pepper at the top, the red berries and white flowers, and then the kind of slightly dried woody base. Of course, the bottle. How could you not love to have this on your presentation? I do also quite love the original Fury as well. I didn't love it at first, which is why I don't have it. And then by the time that I came to love it through decants, it's really hard to find now at a decent price because the bottle is really beautiful and people don't want to give it up. So That was Fury Ruby by Van Cleef and Arpels. Moving to a fresher scent, also the only significantly masculine scent in this lineup is by 8 and Bob, 8 and Bob Cap d'Antibes. And this is such a beautiful, spicy, aquatic fragrance. I love wearing this. This would be amazing on a man as well. This is mine. This doesn't belong to my partner or anybody. I love it. I just think it smells so fresh and spicy. Oh, I can smell it now. It's almost like old-fashioned aftershave. It almost has that kind of old-fashioned aftershave feel or vibe, but it's much fresher, modern and fresh. So that was Cap d'Antibes 8 and Bob by 8 and Bob. Next, I have Elizabeth Arden Green Tea and Cucumber. This is one of my favorites to bring out during the spring and summer. Even though I don't wear it nearly as much as I should, I don't wear it because it's not super exciting. And I feel like that sounds really bad. But I like interesting fragrances. I like fragrances that leave an impression behind, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter as long as it's there. And this is a really nice generic fragrance. It's a really nice, yeah, just fresh, not anything super extraordinary or special. Green Tea Cucumber by Elizabeth Arden. However, I do bring it out every spring and summer because it is a perfect scent to grab and go. You don't have to think about what you're wearing, what you're doing, who you might offend, because it's very non-offensive. So yeah. And then the last one that I have is by Rideau, Bal d'Afrique. Again, this is a sort of powdery floral with a slightly woody dry down. Apologize, my sinuses are going crazy because of the perfumes, but I love the magnet in the cap. Like, anyway, Bal d'Afrique it has marigold, it has some different florals, it has some different green and woody notes. Again, everything will be listed down below. I only remember marigold because I think this is the only fragrance I own that has a marigold in it. But it's really nice. It's super powdery in my opinion, but it's not offensively powdery. Like, it doesn't smell like a granny or an old lady. What it does smell like to me is someone who is very, or evokes the feeling of being very sensual, being very deliberate, being very, like, just put together, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because of those powdery notes and because of the lighter floral notes, I do find that Bal d'Afrique performs the best on me in the springtime. This scent could easily be worn year-round, and I know that there's a lot of people who probably are wearing this scent year-round, but for me, it performs the best in the summer. Here in Las Vegas, that's just like the optimum time. In the spring, not the summer. Here in Las Vegas, in the spring, is the optimum time for Bal d'Afrique by Rideau. The summer is too hot. Those powdery florals get a little bit overwhelming. They do get a little bit sickening. Any type of floral, for me, if it's too strong, it gets a little bit nauseating. It doesn't matter if it's like a white floral, yellow floral, red floral. If it's like, it starts to get a little bit too much, and I start to get a little bit nauseous, okay? So summertime, that's kind of what happens here. It happens the same with Fairy Ruby as well. I usually don't pick that up much after May or June. But the fall is okay. I do like to wear this in fall as well, although this has sort of, like I said, a freshness to it, a vivaciousness to it that makes me feel more like spring than fall. And then in winter, it's just not the optimum weather for performance for that particular fragrance, in my opinion. So anyway, those were the 5 fragrances that I have for you. Check again down below for all of the fragrance notes. There's another fragrance by Eau de Bob that I really want. It's the like the Egyptian one. It's like a brownish bottle. I don't, that's neither here nor there. That's just me starting to gab about my wish list. We could spend all day talking about my wish list. Also, if anybody ever sees Fury, the original Van Cleef & Arpels Fury, the 3.4 fluid ounce bottle for sale for not a bad price, $100 or around, hit your girl up so that I can get that for my collection. Yeah. Otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed. If you are interested in hearing about the indie fragrances that I'll be wearing for spring, I'm happy to do that video as well. I do not include indie fragrances in these kind of general roundups just because they're pretty specific and most of them are not always available for regular sale, whereas the only one of these fragrances, they're actually, every single one of these fragrances can still be found online for sale. Most of them, Elizabeth Arden, I believe, Byredo, Chanel, and Eau de Bob are all like regular line. They're still actively in their fragrance line. And Fury Ruby is at least on the discount retailer sites. So yeah, so but I would still be happy to talk about the indie scents and why I've chosen them. It's harder to recommend them to people because I know that a lot of them can't be purchased. I hope that makes sense. I'm not like trying to withhold indie scents from you if you want to know about them. I'm happy to share. All right, you guys, thank you so much for letting me gab to you. Moving the mouth around a little bit loosened up some of my sinus pressure, so that was really great and helpful. Otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if there is a particular video that you would like to see next. I have planned coming up the Show Us Your Spritz tag. I also am going to do one of my favorite fragrance houses. I really love watching those videos from other people, so I'm going to do some of my own. And I am going to also do my updated fragrance collection as well as my transitioning to spring scent video. You know that I do that every season. You can see it. There is a playlist. I'll link it somewhere. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed. Have a great evening or day or wherever time it is, wherever you are. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane. Because it is madness right now. It is. So otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye. Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay.